Hello, beautiful mamas. I'm sitting in the sun outside today. I'm just realizing that I can't really see myself in the screen. But I hope you can see me. Welcome to Conscious Champagne Chat number 36. Let me know when you're watching this on replay. Leave us comments and give us a thumbs up and a like if you're watching this on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe. I know that one thing about me is that I never commit to a certain time of when I go live, because I really like to have that flexibility and freedom to choose to do these whenever they suit and fit into my day. And so today it's not an evening, it's actually like late afternoon here in Germany, and I'm coming live to you with a topic that is very dear to my heart, which is what do we do when we feel disconnected to our children? And I've learned a super amazing, simple tool that I want to share with you today that you can apply when you have these moments where you feel like, what is going on with this child? Like, what is wrong, right? And I don't know about you, but in my darkest moments of parenting, where there've been days where I just wished I'd never become a mom, because the behavior of my children, in particular the one of my daughter, was just so heavy to bear for me that I could not bear the pain of taking the responsibility of having put that human into the world, right? And it's been the days where she was just like her behavior was out of this world, right? When they are throwing a tantrum for not minutes, like hours and hours, and they just don't stop, right? Or when they're being really angry, when they're saying hurtful words, when they're being extremely mean. So for my daughter, it's in particular the meanness that would get to me, and her resistance of collaborating, of cooperating. Just a lot of defiant behavior, which used to be extremely exhausting and tiring. And I'm sure that for those of you who do have, defiant children, that you understand, how exhausting it is when you're trying strategy over strategy, and you've probably read parenting books, and maybe you've even seen a therapist, and some of them work better, and then there's days where it actually goes better, and it all kind of rewards back. And so one of the very important lessons that I've actually learned is that as much as we think we own our children, we actually don't. We really, really do not own our children. They're completely separate human beings. Yes, they came out of our body, and because of that, there is definitely a connection. There's a preset connection that we have. And I think one of the characteristics of parenting that we want to create is this feeling of oneness, right? You're feeling one with your children. You're feeling deeply connected. You're feeling like you're forming a unity. And I absolutely agree that that is a beautiful characteristic of parenting. But with that comes also the understanding that our children are very different. They're different from us. And what we have to be careful of is that that difference does not lead to separation, which is the feeling of feeling very disconnected to them, right? So let me repeat that. We are different. And what we have to be careful is that that difference does not lead to separation. And quite frankly, that applies to the relationship between you and your spouse as well, because it's the same thing. Right? My husband and I, there's on many levels, we're very similar, but on so many levels, we're like so different. And if I don't learn to use that difference to actually amplify the oneness between us, there's a risk of separation. That's right. That's why a lot of people separate at the end of the day, right? And so what I want to share with you is how you actually, when you have these moments and you feel very disconnected. So for example, again, for me, it was the moments where my daughter would just like be so defiant, so mean that she triggered the word, like she pushed all my buttons. And it was to the point where I would tell to my husband, it's like either she's moving out or I'm moving out, which is ridiculous, right? But they managed to do that with us. They managed to get us down on their level. And what I want you to understand is when that happens, when there's a situation like this, first of all, you need to have a very high level of self-awareness. And I just talked about the different levels of mom awareness, parenting awareness, right? And this is the level of knowing that you need to be at, which is like, you know that you are different. You also know that you are actually not fully responsible for that behavior. You also know that your child's behavior has nothing to do with you. And the only reason you're actually feeling disconnected, if they don't talk to you, especially teenagers, right? They don't want to talk to you. They hide in their room, leave me alone. They're very short. Like they literally have 2-word sentences that they use, right? These are the moments that feel very heavy to us, and they're really painful to us because we actually are not fully aware that we are capable of doing the same thing. We are capable of being angry. We are capable of being mean. And our kids see that. They learn that. How often are you making snipping comments to your husband, right? How often are you being mean to to yourself, quite frankly? So one of the things, for example, so many parents struggle with getting their kids to do homework. There's resistance to doing homework, and they're like at their wits' end of like, how am I getting my children to do homework? And I do actually there's a whole training session on that too, that we have on YouTube. But I want you to really check in on your self-awareness and understand, how do you feel about your work? How do you show up on the Monday morning for your work? Is it like, are you excited to go to work on Monday morning? Or is it like, oh my gosh, it's Monday again and I have to do this? You have resistance too. We all have it, except that as adults, we've learned to ignore our human needs, push through them, pull ourselves together, and just go and do it. Which, by the way, is never the way to do it, because that means you're actually not aware of what you truly need. So, your children are just being raw. They're being honest. They are showing you the full human side. Like all the sides that we have inside of us. So next time, here is what I want you to do. Next time you feel disconnected to your child and your child is getting on your nerves, or you feel like you can't get to them, like you just can't get to them, and they're showing behavior you don't approve, there's a very 3-word simple sentence that I want you to say to yourself. Next time your child is saying something mean to you, I want you to just repeat in your head and say, I am that. I am that. That's it. Because, yes, you have moments where you're angry. You have moments where you're being mean. You have moments where you just don't feel like doing it. You have moments where you're being impatient. You have moments where you do not listen. And the best example I always use is, watch the relationship you have with your spouse. Do you really listen to him? Why should your kids listen to you? I am that. Yes, Shimanara, exactly. That's it. I am that. And by the way, this works with every person you feel you have a hard time forming a connection. You can use this at work. If somebody pisses you off at work, just say to yourself, I am that. And what will happen instantly is that, literally that big gap between you and the other person, it will become smaller. It becomes smaller and smaller. And you realize, you know what, maybe the person's just having a bad day. And I have those bad days too. It doesn't mean you have to like the person. It's not about that. but it will definitely make your relationship easier. And with your kids, it's amazing because when you do this, first of all, you will become way less judgmental about their behavior. You will become way more loving and caring with yourself, actually. Because if you cannot link and relate and put yourself into, I am that, that means you are only loving yourself to a certain degree and never fully. And so it's the same for the other ones. And the disconnection between you and the other person just grows and grows. So I am that will get you closer, even to your teens. If your teens don't want to talk to you, they're hiding in their bedroom, just say to yourself before you go in and try to have the conversation, I am that. I have moments where I just want to be by myself. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm frustrated. I'm lost. I'm confused. I don't know what to do about this. I am that. I am that too. Because we are all the things at some point, and we've been all the things at some point in our lives. And that way, you're already opening the door to connecting. And then the way you can go and connect is not by doing, guys. Like everybody always wants to go and do and fix the situations. Just go and sit with your children and literally do nothing. Sit for 5 minutes, even if they're being mean, even if they want to send you out of the room over and over again. Just sit there, observe. You don't have to do anything. That's so powerful, so powerful. But it starts with you. All right, my friends, I'm Arlis, your sister, friend, and soulmate. And if you need any help with coaching and becoming the best version of yourself in parenting and careering, let us know right here and we'll get back to you. Take care. Bye. And I will be seeing you back here next Tuesday.